We are programmed by the world.
Schools never taught us how to mix people and manage people.
Where are you going? I'm busy. Where are you running? I'm busy. But where are you really going? I don't know. But we are just running. Happiness dose is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. So if you need to be happy, you need to release all the other negative emotions. Osho and in many other forms of meditation, there's like Nataraj meditation, go crazy dancing, right? So that's one of my signature meditation. This is what I want to tell people, guys, meditate 15 minutes, 10 minutes, it's so powerful.
Hello and welcome to another podcast organized by Plan My Firm. In today's podcast, let us try to understand our very special guest, Dr.Smitha Prabhakar, founder and CEO of Oracle Wellness, and popularly known as Doctor of Happiness. And let us try to understand in today's age, as you know, that we all have to lead with so much of pressure. And in this case, having a calm mind is such a blessing. Having the tools or learning the art, how to neutralize negative energy is such an important tool. And having this tool in your hands could actually sustain a happy mind. Managing stress, knee-jerk reactions, anxiety, and maybe a balanced spiritual life can not only elevate your relationships, but shall also improve your physical and mental well-being. So, I welcome you, Smitha, and I want you to decode these things because I feel that leaders or managers, entrepreneurs, everyone need or rightful to have a very sound mind and have complete mental capacity. Because whether we want or no, we are unable to control our mind. Most of the mind is basically influenced with factors around us. In that case, how does one focus on deep concentration? So, Smitha, I would like to get some views on you.
Thank you.
What is the Oracle?
Thank you, Peter. It's just such a great honor to be here. And that too at my friend's podcast.
Wow.
You know, it's just been a long time. It's long 7 years.
Yeah. 7 years.
So happy to reconnect again. You asked me a lot of questions in one question.
Okay.
So we'll just take it step by step. You're so right, Peter. Now in this new day and age, people are finding it very challenging how to maintain a calm mind. Because there's enough drama in our mind. There's enough drama.
Whether we want it or not.
Whether we want it or not, the world gives us, right? So how do you manage all of these? So it's not an easy task unless you have a habit or a practice which is just helping you pause, see where you are, and then just change, shift, evolve, and grow to a better you. It's so very important, but it's very rare that people take that pause. You've seen, where are you going? I'm busy. Where are you running? I'm busy. But where are you really going? I don't know, but we are just running.
So it's very important to put that tap off sometimes.
Absolutely.
The nanoseconds that are pouring every minute, just
Yes.
put it off. Pause for a minute, check where you're going, what's really happening,
Yeah.
whether you're in control of your conscious mind, and then slowly reopen the tap.
Absolutely. But nobody does that. Very rare. It's where I find I take my me time. Very rarely. When you see busy entrepreneurs, they really don't have time for anything. They're just working. What are they endlessly working for? Is it success? The emotional satisfaction of being successful? Or validation from the world? Or is it money? What is that they're looking for? Once they understand what is the purpose of their running, right? That's a rat race. We're just running, but without having a deep purpose. If they know, growth and contribution towards a society is my purpose, so they need to deviate the way they're running, or what are they running for, towards a deeper purpose. So their life is more meaningful, plus they are touching other people's life in differently. So
Absolutely.
if it's just about money, okay, you need abundance, financial stability for a specific reason. For example, for me, I needed this. That's why I was a serial entrepreneur. For me, that was my priority at a certain point of my life. Because the end of my life, I always wanted to be in this space of well-being, connecting to
I know
people.
7 years back you said that, you told me this. I mean,
Yes.
they have just started a brand. And I said, and maybe at that time, I did not understand it. But today when I see your videos on Instagram, I really see the immense potential in your work as well as the efforts that you have put in to actually curate knowledge around it, to have such an elevated experience. So, what is Oracle Wellness all about? And where did this journey actually start for you? Where did you feel that there is a pain in the market, or whether these are the pain points that I want to really address to just change some of the well-beings of people?
Great. Thank you so much. Such an interesting question and such a deep question. I did not start this for a specific purpose. Now the world needs it more than anything else. Mental well-being, mental health, preventive healthcare, all of that is so very, very important now. But Peter, my journey started about 15 plus years ago. I think even when I was in my school, I knew my purpose. Somehow I was fortunate to be born into a family which was spiritually oriented, and I had my grandfather, very inclined to all these practices, meditation, taking care of themselves. All was very, very important. And
So the part of your culture then.
part of my culture and my family pedigree. And I was just seeing, why is he doing what is he doing? Why is he taking care of his mind, body, spirit so well? That was my grandfather. And I was surrounded by books connected to many masters, right? Many, the books which I've read, which was connected to faith, different Vedic scriptures, and also all kinds of books around me. And somehow I was born into that culture, and I was just somehow in my mind, this is what I want to do in my life. I want to be in a space where if I can walk the talk, what I'm talking about, then people would listen to me. For that, I need to learn. So I started my journey. My first Reiki mastery happened when I was in the school. And then I became the grandmaster. Then I could teach Reiki. So Reiki was the first energy modality which I learned.
What is Reiki?
Reiki is an energy form where you can shift the energy structure of a person who's having any physical, emotional, spiritual imbalances. You're able to shift that through channeling a specific energy form into the body. So everything is energy.
Chakras? What are you saying?
Yeah, chakra, Reiki.
Or is it something very different?
Yeah, Reiki is the energy healing modality.
Okay.
Chakras are the energy centers,
The energy center.
virtual energy centers of our body, which connects to different aspects of our life.
So I wanted to ask you, what are these chakras and where they are located on the spine?
So
Because when I see that, the image, and
Yes.
the chakras kept, the 7 chakras,
Yes.
I think there's 7
Yes.
centers of energy,
centers
right?
of the body.
And I think activating them is the entire ultimate objective of the course.
Yes.
Or any course that we follow.
So whenever you do any specific healing, it relates to different aspects of our life, right? And then we have in our body, we have so-called virtual energy centers called chakra. They're not physically present, but they are the connection of different meridians and energy centers of our body. And it is alongside the spine, but it is not on the spine, but it can be in the front and back as well, right? So you just look at it as a hologram, as a hollow channel which is coming from the base of your spine to the top of your head. We have got not just 7 or 8 chakras, we've got like 114 plus energy centers, meridians of our body, which doesn't even end at our body. It can be above as well. There's this first energy center called the root chakra. That's the base. That's the first energy center of the body, connected with your grounding, connected with how we are based in our life, what kind of stability we have in our life. There are a lot of aspects towards each energy center. Are we really a grounded person? That's also connected with your abundance. It's connected with your money. If you need wealth, you need to work more on clearing your energy center of the root chakra. That's at the base of your spine. Not exactly, but there is a space where it's around the perineum area. So from there, if you go on to the second energy center, which is the...
I think they're 12 inches away from each other,
it's just, it's not 12 inches, it's just below your navel, navel button. That's your sacral energy center. That's the second energy center connected with your relationships. Your first relationship starts with you, right?
Okay, yeah, of course.
We always think that relationship is outside of you. No, first is how are you with you, right? So the relationship with you, are you giving enough self-love? Are you connecting to yourself? So that's the second energy center, which connects to your relationships with you, your spouses.
In today's world, people are even able to connect this?
They're not even connected to themselves.
They're only looking for external relationship.
Exactly.
I mean, the word relationship itself is only expanded to outside world.
That's right.
And you getting it within, I mean, it's different meaning.
Absolutely. So when they start connecting to themselves, they start to know how am I wired? What is my blueprint? What are my needs, right? People operate from about 6 human needs if you learned, if you've worked with NLP and a lot of neuro-linguistic programming. So when you understand your needs, you will know oh, this is why I am reacting or relating to these people outwardly. So the most important thing is to first understand you. Let's stop blaming the world for what's not happening. The moment we understand the way we are wired and what our needs are, we will totally understand why am I able to connect with this person better than this person because of how you're wired. How is my response to this particular person's conversation? How am I reacting? Am I responding? So
you see, having control over yourself is something that you're trying to touch point.
Ideally, we need to be able to manage, not control, manage the emotions and regulate it efficiently. So that's the second energy center, the sacral center, which is connected to your bond with people, your relationship, your sexuality. All that is connected with the second energy center, which is the sacral energy center. Then comes the solar plexus. That is just under the rib cage, right? That's where and towards the center of the spine in a hollow space. So that's the solar plexus connected to your strength, your perseverance, your willpower. All of that is connected to that energy center, right? So the moment we have a gut feeling, so where's that coming from? Because what propels you, what forces you to go forward? So that's connected to the sacral, the solar plexus energy center. Then comes the heart center. It's about love, compassion, your empathy, your gratitude. All is connected with your emotions. Emotions can be residing in all energy centers as well. This is the area of the emotions connected to compassion, well-being, empathy, and all that, the kindness, gratitude. And then you go to the throat center. That's the next energy center. This is the base of your throat, which is connected to your truth.
Okay.
Also your purpose. I'm in this world for which purpose? And how am I expressing my truth? My authenticity of who I am. Am I communicating that clearly to the world? Am I first communicating it to myself? Am I hearing me? So the throat center, that is your throat chakra, and your hearing is also connected. Am I listening to me? Am I listening to my needs?
So,
what is that little girl or the boy? We're all still children, right? How much ever we grow.
Yeah.
What is that little Peter or the little Smitha wants? Am I serving her the way she wants?
What is the values and how that is communicating to the soul?
Absolutely. And when I'm in this world, I'm born into this world, that little child wanted what? Was it success? I wanted to be great like my father, or I wanted to do something like a role model. What is that girl or the boy, that little inner child wanting, right?
The deep desire.
Yeah. Am I fulfilling that desire for that little boy or the girl?
Wow.
Normally we forget about all of that. That child
he's lost.
Possibly wanted love and connection. So he needs to do, that's his purpose. More of things which will help, foster that in his life. if that person needed more of validation, hugs and pat, so he needs to be doing more of those things in his work. So we are connecting to the deepest purpose, what that little boy or the child wants when he's born into this world.
Wow.
So there's a lot of deep programming which is already, when you're born, we are at zero. From even when we are in the mother's womb, we have a purpose.
100%.
We are programmed. And now when we come, we are already programmed by even our parents and the mother's thought forms. And coming back to this question, I will just complete from the throat chakra, is where you're finding your purpose, right? So when you're activating it, rightly said, when you're able to activate this energy center, you're able to connect to your true purpose. You're able to communicate effectively to the people, because throat chakra is connected to your tongue, your ear. Are you saying the right things, what needs to be said? Are you heard? Are you understood? So if you feel in your life you're not understood, or I'm not being heard, I'm trying to tell this person so many times, but they're not hearing me. Have you ever felt that kind of
I
a
have
thing?
felt many times.
Yeah. You're saying something, they're not even
Because I
listening.
wanted to hear something else, and what I was communicating, they didn't want to
They
hear.
didn't understand the way you are portraying. So what happens is like, so your throat chakra is imbalanced. So you need to work on that by certain practices, certain meditation, certain breath work, certain words which can activate or vibrate that energy center. By consistent practice, you can work on it.
Yeah.
Then comes to your third eye, which is your Ajna center.
The Shiva.
Yes.
The third eye of Shiva.
Third eye is another, virtual eye, or the center of a, Ephesus, where we can see the future. The sixth sense is connected to it. We're able to clearly see what's happening. So when you start practicing meditating and you work on your third eye, you're able to have greater amount of sixth sense. You can channel a lot more wisdom and understanding from whatever we need to channel it from, because you know that where's the mind? Everything is out there. It says how you tap into the frequency and receive what you really want to receive into your life. So that is by activating your third eye center. Then comes your Sahasrara chakra, or the seventh energy center, which we'll just talk about the seven energy centers. It's about connecting to the soul.
This is the one?
Sahasrara, or the seventh chakra, or your crown chakra, that connects to the higher consciousness, the super consciousness, connecting to that divinity or the source, whatever you may call it, and channeling that wisdom into you. This can only happen when the chaos is not there, right? When you reduce the amount of chaos, it's very difficult to completely remove the chaos.
Especially in this running internet speed.
Absolutely.
And every day the speed is going up.
Absolutely. And how do you manage that? We're constantly stimulated by the social media. The moment we wake up, you've got tons of thoughts, tons of people selling you something the moment you wake up.
And the first thing that comes up on some of the national medias, you have disturbed negative news sometimes of wars happening between country, and in such disturbed mindset, how do you neutralize?
That's right.
How do you still say, okay, fine, everything is all good, I need to focus on what is my well-being rather than these factors affecting me?
Absolutely. That's why awareness is important. Am I carried away by the endless chats? Am I carried away by the endless chats, which the moment I open my phone, you start the Instagram, are you stopping in 20 minutes or in an hour? Or I'm able to come out of it knowing that there's another purpose what I'm here for. Or the endless scrolling can lead you somewhere else, leaving you wasted amount of hours and then being guilty about it, and then just having this whole loop going over and over again. So it's a very, very difficult situation where we are in right now, unless you are able to be aware of what are your thoughts, where are you going, am I stopping in the right time when I need to stop? I've got this time for my social media, I've got this time for my self-care, self-love, I've got this time for my work, and I've got so much time for the people around
This can
me.
only happen once you achieve that conscious mind, or at least that consciousness of the actions that are happening with you.
That's right, because we're just running mindlessly.
Yeah.
And do you know that we
most
are
of the actions are driven by the external world.
external world, and also only 5% is our conscious mind doing things. 95% we are driven by the subconscious, our inner talk, inner conversation. Somebody is driving you, right?
Of course.
Move this, go to this place, meet this person. Something is telling us somewhere. Where are these coming from? These are all the programming which we have gotten from the moment, even before, genealogically or genetically. We are also deriving a lot of programming and conditioning. And now, once you're in your mother's womb, you have another set of programming on your way, because we are born as a soul, as a spirit, as an unlimited being. We are programmed by the world. The moment from 0 to 7, we are programmed by the parents telling us, don't do
by
this.
imitating.
This is bad. This is good. So we already made the word, okay, if I go this way, it's danger. So I don't go this way. There's an amount of fear coming in. Fear of if I go towards this particular zone, we would say, don't go there. There is this devil coming there. I'm going to, bite you. So there is an element of fear brought into our mind by our conditioning in the childhood, right? So we know that we already programmed ourselves, okay, I'm not supposed to go there because there's danger there, right? So these kind of program from 0 to 7, and then from 7 to 14, environment, the school, the teachers, all of them program. Then 14 to 21, another set of programming. So we are programmed beings. Then the social media and the world programs you, the society programs you, right? So
the educational institutes programs you.
Absolutely.
They give you a set of beliefs. Those beliefs you need to perform in the corporates.
Exactly.
The corporates have now branded you with a particular tagline, and you have to perform based on your KPIs.
Absolutely.
And the KPIs then lead to certain results.
That's true.
And those results brand you with something else. And that's when you're thrown out of the system after 60, boss, I don't need you anymore. And that's when you realize, maine kiya kya?
Yeah.
What did I do?
What did I do?
And where was I running? And what is the ultimate purpose?
That's so right. So it's high time people stop and just understand who you are. What am I made of? What is my deepest purpose? My job, my work at Oracle Wellness is, when I found this about 10 years ago, my journey has been almost 15 plus years in this journey.
What inspired you, actually?
In the spiritual journey. As I said, luckily, I was gifted with a great family, and I was pulled into this space since my childhood. So I started learning, what are those modalities? How can I just work with meditation, mindfulness? How does this work? Now, we say you chant a specific mantra, you chant a specific name. How does it work? Is it the words or the vibration or the frequency? Right? So I started doing a lot of scientific research based on that, on energy center, chakras, the power of the words, power of the thoughts. Thoughts are things. So I've started reading all these books throughout my entire life.
Yeah, that's what I was explaining you about, the Wheels of Life by Anodia Jude. And then she explains about the chakras based on the spine and activating them.
This is coming from
a
very age-old philosophy, right?
Yeah.
There are many masters who's been talking about it from our,
of course,
ancient history in India,
but of course
in Far East, and many new age scientists. Like, for example, I was fortunate to work with Bob Proctor, and he has endorsed my work on chakras, on the frequencies I created, which can shift your chakras by just listening to it. So I went to US, I worked with programmers and created this binaural beats and all these sounds, which are certain frequencies which can shift your chakras instantly. So,
and how does the imbalance happen of it? Or I understand that we need to realign them in a particular way, but how does it just gets dismantled or from its alignment?
Okay.
What is that lifestyle that we have to avoid, so that at least people who are viewing this podcast should know, if they avoid these things, and there are very high chances that they could at least restore the alignment of the chakras, which are a very important part to vibrate the positive energies.
Absolutely, you're so right. And also I've kind of invested in a lot of equipments which can measure your auric field.
Wow.
And the chakras. Once you see for yourself, yes, it is shifting in an hour, which I couldn't do it for years. Why my emotions are in control, or I'm aware of my emotions. I was able to manage my anger, with this breath work or with this particular practice. There are many practices.
Many people don't have control. They just get angry.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that, boss, where's this emotion come from all of a sudden? How did it hijack my mind?
Absolutely.
When anger is a negative word, I don't want it to be a part of my life, but yet it's getting a part of my life.
That's
So
right.
what are these factors that actually I couldn't keep in control?
Yeah. So when they are aware of what are these thoughts coming in?
Yeah.
When this person is coming in front of me, why am I reacting differently?
Yes.
And this is not your fault. It's somebody, people is like short.
Why my thoughtful mind is not taking over.
Absolutely.
And just my emotions or knee-jerk reactions is getting hijacked.
Because you're operating from a fight and flight response, right?
Oh.
So that's why certain practice of meditation or awareness, right? There are many forms of meditation. My whole entire life journey is about exploring different modalities of meditation. It's like moving, walking, breath work, silence, dancing. So a lot of forms of meditation where what meditation works for you might not work for somebody else. So it's important for you to go to a coach or a mentor to guide you through it and
100%.
tell you what works for you. Because my whole life's journey is this. My whole research is on this, where I'm able to tell you this works for you. Just forget all the crap around what you find. You Google and you find something that's generic. But you are an individual, and your upbringing, your journey is not devised by what are you doing right now. It is also connected to your past. It's also connected to how you're brought up. It's also connected to your childhood.
And your value system.
And your value system. There are different values, like 7 value systems, or your 6 human needs. What are you operating from? The moment you understand, we have assessments for these. So it's important for every individual to pause and understand who you are. What are my values? Because values can't be shifted because they are already there. But there are ways to shift your values, but we have to also check whether it's ecological.
So we have to de-learn certain negative values and then and try to inculcate the positive values that actually will get the best out of you.
Correct. But first is awareness. Where am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
And once you come, I know, to me, I'll be able to guide you through where are you in this moment of your life.
Yeah.
And then help you to give you modalities and tools. So that's where, there are many tools which can help you to calm your mind. There are many tools to help you to understand where you're going. Why am I reacting this way?
Yeah.
How do you control your emotions?
Yeah.
If you see there is a chart, there's an Omega chart, an emotional frequency chart, which talks about love, compassion, enlightenment on the top, which is 100.
Okay.
Can you just guess what is that 0 frequency emotion? What do you think? Out of all the negative emotions, there are positive.
Maybe sadness.
No, that's somewhere in the middle. Shame and guilt.
Shame and
Guilt. That's got the worst frequency. That's the rock bottom. If somebody is suffering from guilt and shame is the worst of all. There's toxic shame, where there are 2 shames. One kind of shame, you feel bad about this thing, but I did something to you. And you can easily clear that by saying, going to that person and saying, listen, I did this. I know you must have hurt. So can I please correct it? Can we work on this together? You cleared that negative emotion out of your system. But there's toxicity involved in that shame. Then you start shrinking, you're hiding, you're running away from that person. And then you become defensive about your actions. Then the whole game, the toxic game starts. In that, you can lose yourself. And then you go to different other emotions, and then you go to the highest, which is enlightenment, joy, and bliss. Ecstasy. How do you come to those? There are many practices which can help you. That is, first one I would say is breath work.
Wow.
Breathing.
And then once a person comes to you as a life coach, you diagnose, you understand.
First I diagnose and tell you. In relationship, people having breakups, I'm not understanding, and they are, you can see that.
It could happen.
Yeah, there is.
Maybe the first phase of your relationship would be great, and the second phase maybe could be disturbing.
Absolutely.
And then how do you realign those?
Realign those. How do you consciously couple people back together when they're drifting apart? Because people can also be lonely. If they're together, they can still be lonely.
Yeah.
They can still be not understood by each partners, right? So for example, most of the clients who comes to me is either who are there in the top CEO, the chairman, and
The C-level guys.
They are kind of quite lonely at the top because they don't have peers to talk to. The second kind of people what we are addressing is the youth, the new generation youth who are constantly stimulated in their mind, and they have no pause, and they get into anxiety, depression, all kinds of issues, suicidal tendencies, all of these, which we have seen through during
Because they're
the COVID
experiencing
time.
the world more on
Virtually and differently, and that's another way of loneliness. They're secluded on their iPad, on the phones.
Yeah.
They're not connecting to the people a lot more. So that's the youth getting into a lot of anxiety. I mean, 90% I would say is the youth. There's no direction. Then is the relationships. People are going through difficult, challenging relationships now. Very rarely you find relationships which are so meaningful, and the COVID has taught us a lot. The people who are close to me, that really, it's not about the Facebook friends or the millions of followers I want to have.
Yeah.
The true meaning of the people who are there for you, who would just know if you're not there. Nowadays, people don't even realize if somebody has not messaged you for 1 month, you don't even know that it's there. Someone has passed away. It's like you don't realize.
In fact, you
Because
archive people only for good morning messages, guys.
Absolutely.
They are not there.
They're not there.
I have people on my WhatsApp group. Technically, 1 year they only send good morning and have Eid Mubarak.
Yes. So we don't even know people are there or not there because we are caught up in this virtual world. So understanding the value of meaningful relationship, the true bond of marriage, true bond of being partners as well, true bonds of parenthood and the relationship with your child. Where are we nurturing those? These are very, very important things. In this day and age, we need to give more value to. From there, we can foster better life. Your relationship with people are better, your life is better. Because you're able to, for example, if a husband is going to work with a chaotic mind and an argument, is he going to be good with his employees? No. He's going to operate from the morning journey.
I'm just, whatever you said, I'm just recollecting with my parents. Like, I mean, it's, if you see our parents, I mean, they partnered their family life and continued for 30, 40 years together. And today it's so difficult to partner in maybe 20 years.
Absolutely.
And in a 15, 20 years of a relationship, you start falling apart.
Absolutely, because people are wanting dopamine hits, right? They want that instant pleasure, right? That's what the social media gives them, right? There is after about a year or so, the honeymoon period is over.
Yeah.
That pleasure, the dopamine hits starts to fade down. That's when, if a couple is in love with each other, they need to start building that intimacy, that spiciness in their relationship, which people forget. Wow. Right? And when they fall apart is when,
they get complacent.
They get complacent.
Yes. Okay, fine. We just got married. He's there.
He's there because you already have a brand. Okay, he's mine. I'm his.
I just stamped him. He tagged it, and there's a certificate that's issued.
That's issued, and then you start working on it. That's when the doom starts. You need to nurture every relationship. It's like a baby. The relationship is also like a baby. You need to nurture it. You need to work on it. You need to...
And every day.
Every day. Be there for each other. Am I hearing him? Is he hearing me? Truly for what I am. Is he like embracing my ugly side, the best side, and all the sides of me? Are we doing that? Right? We are very rarely. The moment we like, I don't want to deal with this, I go and find something else. So it's important to work on relationships. The moment you're better at relationships, your life becomes phenomenal, right? Because that's what you start from the home with a relationship, either with your parents, either with your family or husband, wife, and then you go out. And when you start from a wrong foot from here, you also create negative impact on the world.
Teach us this. Smitha, then how do you see? Suppose someone who's not exposed maybe to your program, or maybe someone who you have now mastered this art of teaching people of how to be emotionally involved. But schools never taught us this. We were only blessed intellectually. The IQ was the only parameter to move ahead in the classes.
That's true.
And Emotions were never a part of the story.
Yeah.
Now, because if emotions were never, I read this book by I think Joy Coleman. I think Joy Coleman or someone. I mean, it is called "Never Lose That Employee Again," and he writes it very clearly that you could have every employee in whatever the ranks that you have kept in the organization, and they have skills everywhere. They have IQs, but if you don't have emotional relationship with them, they will not be there. They will move out. They don't leave the job for salaries. They leave the job because of absence of compassionate and empathy towards them.
That's so
recognition
right.
towards them. So schools never taught us how to mix people and manage people.
That's right. This is one of the major core what we address, right? Corporate well-being, employee well-being.
Yeah.
Yeah, is every employee happy? If you see the researchers, right, people are unhappy at their workplace. There's a high levels of stress. They don't know how to deal with the stress. There's too much of turnaround in those companies. That's why nowadays companies are spending huge amounts of funds on employee well-being. You have a happy employee. He's not going to be absent. He's going to be highly productive because he's happy in the job, what he's doing. He's not going to fall sick. He's going to have greater relationship with the people around you. And then he's going to create more for the company.
And
he's
this
going to
will
be
result
highly productive.
To a higher attention span.
Absolutely. And they are mindful in their work, mindful in their job, fully engaged. And they rejoice the time in the space. And the relationships are better. Again, it goes to your relationship with you and then the relationship with others. Wow. So employee well-being is also very, very important so that you can
in the
have
corporate world,
happy employees. They are not going to get sick because they are less stressed. 98% of the diseases are born because of stress. How does high BP come in? And we do programs on employee happiness, employee well-being, individual happiness, and we have happiness programs. And what are the tools we use it? There are habit creation. There are habits which can be created, which can create those happiness neurotransmitters. The happiness dose. Happiness dose is dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. So the dopamine, what people go to is like the constant, instant gratification. I need everything now. I buy things. I buy a specific bag and I'm happy about it. I buy a house. So it's like you're having this dopamine rush constantly. That's what social media does for you. Yeah. So what people can't get from the bigger picture, they have it from their phone. So they're constantly addicted to the dopamine, right? So the dopamine is that neurotransmitter which gives you that. So there are many ways to create that dopamine. By practice and training, not being addicted
addicted to a mobile.
Correct, yeah. So how do you do that? So this is the tools what we give to the people to create dopamine internally. Right, so you're happy.
And the application companies have mastered the behavioral science.
Exactly. And they retarget
they are fueling you
wherever you go.
Yeah. Where will you go?
Let me give you some more dopamine. Yeah. And dopamine, then endorphins, like oxytocin, serotonin. Endorphins is when you do exercises. You create these chemicals in your body which creates these endorphins, which contributes to your happiness. So a daily fitness or a walking, some kind of physical activity is so crucial. But dopamine is also can be created by meditation, mindfulness practices. So oxytocin is about the love hormone, the hugs, the bonds what you have with people, right? So that touch and a hug can create so much of happiness for a person, right? When you're happy, you just hug people and you just, you rejoice that joy by the touch.
I'll give you an anecdotal on that. I remember one of my friend, he was hospitalized. And when he was hospitalized, he felt very sad and he was unhappy. And when he knows that I'm coming there, and when I just held his hand and I said, don't worry, I'm there. Immediately his emotional, senses or his body energy is just enhanced.
Beautiful.
And that's where I was touching.
You can touch people just for the feeling that I'm
and
connected.
Another friend came. So when two friends caught his hand, he said, boss, don't worry, we are there. He just let it go. He says, don't worry, what do you want? I'll do it.
beautiful. How does it get any better than that, So that's when you touch a person, hug a person, when a partners, they are in love, what do? They touch and hug and kiss.
Yeah.
That's an ultimate expression of that oxytocin being released in your body.
Wow.
Right? Intimacy, all of these. So when you touched this friend of yours, you could evoke those emotions. He would have had tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
I have people next to me. I feel loved. I'm happy. I'm happy truly from within, right? And you can even touch people by showing them that they are understood. You are there. You have their back.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And that's enough.
Love and connection, right? So that is what is the oxytocin, what you can develop, right? That can be used and that can be created by social connectivity. We have practices, you have these gatherings where there is hugs, there are touches, there's connection, just not about body, mental connections, like being there, like you said. And then endorphins, then serotonin. Serotonin is also a happiness neurotransmitter, but it's not created it's created partly, the 5 to 10% is partly created in the spine and the brain. But can you imagine this happiness molecule is created in the gut, 95%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you eat also
has a lot to do with your
you
happiness.
being happy. Can you believe it? No. So you eat junk food. Are you going to be happy? Because all the DNA of these, organisms in the gut, the bacteria, the microbiota, is devising what you're thinking as well. So if you have bad bacteria, or with all the junk food, the pizzas and all of that, you're going to have a different mindset rather than the people who are eating clean and having a conscious eating.
I wanted to touch point on this meditation. I mean, I found this very unique style of yours is, dancing meditation. And then I seen one video of yours, I think on Instagram, the cryotherapy.
Yeah.
I mean, you were in this ice tub.
bath.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in this ice tub, you're actually, I just wanted to explore both these. What exactly are these meditation techniques? And what are the benefits of it? Let's go by one, the dancing.
So there are many forms of meditation.
Okay.
It could be just as
Yoga
simple
is also
as
one form, right?
Yoga is different. It's connected with it is mind body. It's a combination of the effort. The union of the mind and body is yoga.
Okay.
So the physical asanas and exercises integrated with a mental aspect, that is meditation, being aware of whatever you do, right? So union of mind, body and spirit is yoga. And in meditation, it's as simple as breath work, being aware of the breath, be conscious of the breath. Right from that, it could be chakra healing meditation, it could be different breathwork meditation, breathing, chant meditation, and also movement meditation. So most of the yogis, ancient yogis, they do a bit of walking meditation before they settle down into a seated meditation.
Wow.
So physical activities.
And what's the benefits of this?
Because it activates the whole energy centers, the complete entire body, the blood circulation is there, and you're aware of your movements, right? The walking meditation or dance meditation, movement meditation. We're not getting the dance meditation at this point of time. Walking meditation before you go to a seated meditation. So you're aware of each and every step. I'm lifting my leg up, forward, down, aware of every movement. So it's not easy to do walking meditation. The moment the ancient yogis do the
combination
walking,
of mind and body.
Mind and body. And your spirit, you're connected, you're being aware of that you are making this moment, right? Mm-hmm. So you're becoming an observer to what you're doing. So you're becoming that. And then you go on to a seated meditation, then you're rested. Because for meditation, there are two things which you need to do. You need to be a little hungry, little tired.
Okay.
Right? Then when you meditate, go very, very deep. We are able to access the deepest rest. Why do we meditate? To be aware, to be conscious, and get the deepest rest in your body. So dance meditation is a form of meditation about releasing a lot of emotions.
Yeah, and I felt that, meditation was the only way. Of course, if you want to go to the washroom, of course, we clear our body. To clear our body, we go to the washroom. But to clear our mind, there is no tool.
There are no tools.
How do you clear your mind? And I felt that meditation was the only way that you could clear, the unprocessed thoughts or the thoughts that had negative relationships or negative energies. And how to
Absolutely.
rejuvenate the mind was the only way. I think meditation was the only way.
Meditation is the only way you're pausing and you're acknowledging and observing your thoughts, because the thoughts are going to be there. Are we noticing the thoughts? Why are these thoughts here? Am I noticing? Am I acknowledging? Am I understanding these thoughts? Non-judgmentally. And let it pass. And that's how you start reducing the chaos in the mind. And when there's movement, mind becomes still. When you start doing an extreme activity, don't you think your mind is not active too much, right? That's where the power of the dance meditation, of the movement meditation comes in place. When you're doing an ecstatic movement, when you're doing any form of physical activity, intense physical activity, your mind stops. It becomes still. So that's another way. Rather than sitting and meditating and observing our thoughts, somatic movement or a movement meditation or dance meditation can be as powerful. In the moment, you can find stillness. So have you noticed when you've gone to the club and you go crazy dancing, do you think anything?
I was just relating that only. That
You're
we go
just
to the club,
in
we're
the
just
dance.
so happy and we're dancing in a particular flow. I mean, not everyone will be toxinated with alcohol, but even if you're just going there and the very music itself will make you energized.
And when you're in the highest form of dance or ecstasy or rejoicing, you become one-pointed. Your mind is like in a point and you become the dance at some point of time. That is also meditation, right? So many forms of meditation. The Sufi, when they do the whirling, in that movement, they find stillness. So in Osho and in many other forms of meditation, there's like Nataraj meditation, go crazy dancing, right? So that's one of my signature meditation.
And what's this cryotherapy?
Is what I do is the dance meditation, which I'm such, and also another form of meditation, deep relaxation meditation, is Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is about body
What's
relaxation. Yoga Nidra is a conscious awareness meditation. You're meditating, but you're getting the deepest rest.
Okay.
Equal to about 4 hours of sleeping in that meditation. But you're seated, you could be even lying down, but you're conscious and aware.
It's like a pass away. You pass away for 4 hours.
Yeah, it gives you the deep rest. You would not sleep, but you're in conscious awareness, but you're able to access the deep rest, what you might not get in the sleeping 8 hours. So I did an experiment, by the way.
Okay.
I did not sleep for 100 days.
I seen that as a video. The countdown.
Access the power of meditation. This is what I want to tell people. Guys, meditate. 15 minutes, 10 minutes. It's so powerful. And I was able to get the recovery of 44 to 50%.
So
what you are not able to get
in C-class people who meet you? I mean, how are they rooming time every day? Or are these events happening on Zoom? Or or they come to your center?
So they come to my wellness space and they can do a consultation with me. I'm on Instagram as Dr.Smitha Prabhakar, DRSMITHA Prabhakar. You just DM me and I can schedule, my assistant schedule the appointment.
But even I really honestly believe that, I mean, at least I'm lucky to have a mentor like you. But of course, I believe that many people should approach you for this mentorship program, because at least to understand and analyze where they are in life, whether they are meeting their purpose in life, whether their deeper purpose is connected to their soul and well-being, or to their soul and values of life, and is that resulting to the ultimate objective of being happy
and fulfilled.
I mean, without that, everything looks empty. You may have all the wealth in the world, you may have all the people surrounded with you, you could have access to great coffee shops, you could have great access to a lot of the brands which are available, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, but yet when you sit alone, you feel lonely, empty and missing. Yeah?
So true.
It's so true, right? Thank you so much, Smitha. I mean, there's so much things that you touch point. These are actually very eye-opening, at least for me. And I really appeal to a lot of my friends who are fellow businessmen that they should at least meet you and try to analyze their condition even before enrolling to a course. And once they understand, even this is the meaning that I really want, or this is where I'm stuck, at least they will have a path to some direction. And I think, and having the tools and learning the art of how to neutralize a lot of negatives that actually come, whether you want it or no. It just comes as a part of being in a society. And that's something which I think I will always appeal to my friends. That thank you so much, Smitha.
Thank you
You're
so
such a
much.
lovely guest and a lovely friend.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
It's just been my pleasure.
Thank you.